Continuing on the topic of wildfire, or any disaster for that matter, there are many other things you can do and plan for now. We caught up with OSU Extension Ag Policy Specialist Dr. Amy Hagerman to talk about where to begin.
So on our OSU Extension website, we have a lot of resources, both for preparation, response, and recovery whenever a fire happens. But just focusing on some of those preparation activities, I think the key is to really think through the scenarios that you might face for a fire, whether it is one on a neighboring property that results in an evacuation but no damages, a fire that actually affects your individual home or property, or a nearby fire that creates a smoke situation that you have to deal with at your property.
So that's a good way to kind of categorize it, because obviously it can be very overwhelming. So if people are just getting started in the preparation piece, what are some key things that you say these are absolutely essential, but hopefully don't take too long to get organized?
Absolutely. So you start with your records, right? So let's start with our insurance. Have that annual conversation with an insurance provider. Find out if my coverage is, number one, what I think it is, and number two, does it need to be updated for any improvements that I have made on my property or any other changes I may have made on my property in the last year. So January and February are a great time to have that conversation, just an annual reminder to check your insurance. Make sure you have a copy of those documents and any other critical documents that you need that are ready to go in case you have to evacuate because of a fire situation. Now, a lot of people like to store those documents on a safe on their own property. That's a great start, but bear in mind, most safes are fire resistant, not fire proof, which means if a fire is hot enough or long enough, it could essentially bake your papers inside of the safe. So have a secondary copy of those in some way. Maybe that is a secondary location, like a safety deposit box, where you keep the originals and maybe you have your copies at home in your safe. Maybe it's a situation where you digitize your copies and have those at your fingertips if you have to evacuate your home. But the big thing is that you want to make sure you have any critical medical documents, legal documents, identification, any contact information or phone numbers, lists of medication for a family member that you might need to have at your fingertips ready to go. Have those documents ready to go. And it kind of, as we're talking about contact information, sometimes our cell phones can die in these situations if we can't get to a charger fast enough. You might consider having like a secondary charger that you always keep in your car. Most of us do anyway. It's a handy thing to have no matter what. Or maybe even have a solar charger that you can use. Another great thing you can do is have all that contact information tucked right in the console of your vehicle so that you have it in hard copy if you have to borrow somebody else's phone to contact someone.
When those evacuation orders happened, which we have seen in the last year, Payne County and Stillwater really affected by wildfires last spring. I mean, it was no time. I mean, they just had to get out, get the very, very basics. Their lives were on the line.
Yeah, and you're not running around figuring out, like, where's my charger?
Right.
However, if you have a go bag ready to go in your home, you can have those things ready to go. And that's a great thing to pack going into this season, storm season, whether we're talking about fires or tornadoes or whatever we're talking about. Having a go bag that's ready to just pick up, throw over your shoulder, and walk away. And we've got some great resources on how to pack a go bag.
Let's talk about livestock a little bit and kind of some of the planning there, and you can arm yourself in advance, which hopefully will provide some reassurance heading into this season.
Yeah, again, it's thinking through those scenarios and having a plan under any given scenario. Think about where those bare pieces of ground are on your property. Like, livestock like to congregate, they kind of trample the grass down and you end up with a nice bare piece of ground. That's actually a really safe zone for livestock if something happens. Thinking about where, if you have time, where you would load and evacuate your animals to. Again, we go back to that contact information. Who's your third person that you're going to in the event of an evacuation? Where are you taking your cattle, your horses, your show stock? if something were to happen.
Okay, Amy, great advice. Thank you very much. And for a link to the resources that Amy mentioned from OSU Extension, just go to sunup.okstate.edu.